Zoro is Luffy's first crew member who has accompanied him on his journey for more than 1,000 chapters. Interestingly, they both have a lot in common that you might not realize. Here are 15 similarities between Luffy and Zoro. The straw hat that Luffy has been wearing is not an ordinary item because it was given to him by Shanks. Shanks believed in Luffy that he would sail and make the world uproar, so he gave him his hat. You need to know, the straw hat was the one Roger wore before it was given to Shanks. If they meet again, Shanks will ask Luffy for the hat. At that time, Luffy promised to become a pirate with great achievements, while Zoro has 𝐋𝐢𝐜𝐬𝐞, a sword that Zoro got from his childhood friend who passed away. Luffy once said that he wanted to be greater than Shanks. Shanks, who heard his words, believed in Luffy and gave him his straw hat. Shanks himself seems to believe that Luffy can surpass him one day. The same thing happened to Zoro and 𝐻YPEKAGE. Since he didn't mind letting himself be killed after being defeated, 𝐻YPEKAGE came to respect Zoro and let him live. 𝐻YPEKAGE believes that Zoro is a swordsman who can surpass him one day. 𝐻YPEKAGE himself asked Zoro to know more about the world and become much stronger. You might not realize it, Usopp's photo was once on Luffy and Zoro's wanted posters. Usopp was once on Luffy's wanted poster with a value of 300 million belly. Meanwhile, on the poster that says 1.5 billion belly, Usopp is no longer seen. Likewise with Zoro, Usopp has been seen on Zoro's wanted poster up to a value of 120 million belly, to be precise, before the time skip. You may not know this interesting fact. Yes, according to SBS One Piece Volume 67, Oda explained that Luffy and Zoro only bathe once a week. Then in SBS One Piece Volume 37, Oda also explained that the two of them couldn't dress up on their own. Ace is Luffy's sworn brother who is also considered as his rival. This is because they promised to set sail and maybe fight one day. Unfortunately, it never happened because Ace died at Marineford. The same thing happened to Zoro. 𝐻𝐤 is Zoro's childhood friend and someone he can never beat in Kendo. Zoro was very sorry because he couldn't beat 𝐻𝐤 during his lifetime. You may not even realize this fact. Luffy and Zoro are sent by Kuma to where the 7 warlords are. Luffy went to Boa Hancock's place, while Zoro went to 𝐻YPEKAGE's place. Both of them helped Luffy and Zoro. Hancock helped Luffy to impel down to provide him with food supplies for 2 years while training on Rusukena Island. Meanwhile, 𝐻YPEKAGE helps Zoro master Haki. 𝐻YPEKAGE doesn't mind training him even though in the end Zoro will try to beat him. Luffy and Zoro both have the nickname Supernova and the Worst Generation. Supernova is a rookie pirate with a bounty of over 100 million belly. Meanwhile, the Worst Generation are novice pirates who are able to sail to the New World. Luffy and Zoro themselves have never been proud of themselves, even though they have those 2 nicknames. Prior to the Onigashima arc, Zoro was only seen able to use 2 types of Haki, namely Observation Haki and Armament Haki. But when facing Kaido, Zoro awakens his Conqueror Haki. With this, both Luffy and Zoro have mastered all 3 types of Haki. Luffy has an X scar on his chest, which was the result of Akanu's attack during the Marineford War. This wound is seen after the time skip. Likewise with Zoro, who has a wound in his left eye. The wound in Zoro's eye could not be explained at all. Most likely this wound was obtained when he trained with 𝐻YPEKAGE for 2 years. Both of them are also not very good listeners. When Jinbei started the Straw Hat crew meeting, Luffy was always eating and Zoro was sleeping. Even so, Zoro still looks better than Luffy when it comes to following the strategy. Luffy or Zoro can indeed beat various strong opponents with extraordinary techniques. Even so, they couldn't fight against the navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates. When Nami was angry, Luffy and Zoro could only accept her fists. At the beginning of the story, it's not uncommon for Luffy and Zoro's heads to be bumped by Nami. The first time they met Teach in Mock Town, Luffy and Zoro also met Jesus Burgess. There it is explained that Burgess has the title champion. Luffy and Zoro are both challenged by the title and want to beat Burgess. Luffy and Zoro both have very big dreams. Luffy wants to become the Pirate King like Gul D. Roger, while Zoro wants to become the strongest swordsman in the world by defeating 𝐋𝐤𝐜𝐞𝐬𝐿. During the time skip, Luffy and Zoro are both training accompanied by a woman. Luffy is accompanied by Boa Hancock, who is delivered when he was going to practice, while Zoro is accompanied by Perona. While practicing, Perona starts to have a good relationship with Zoro. She even wanted to take Zoro to Sabaody after 2 years of training. For Luffy, a hero is someone who is willing to share meat with others. Just like Zoro, for him a hero is someone who doesn't mind sharing wine with others.